Hello everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Studio. So nice to have you join me in this brand new year of 2024. I have decided that I'm going to start using what's in my stash. Really, it's probably a good goal that we all should set at some point in our crafting life. And I have lots and lots of these 6x6 paper pads. And I have a feeling that many of us have collected quite a few of these over time, and they still are sitting there in our stash. So let's use up these 6x6 pads or 6x6 papers. That's one goal I wanted to do. And the second goal for this particular journal is I want to incorporate, kind of give it a more of a Tim Holtz theme. And I wanted it to be easy so that a beginner could do this and be pleased with their results. So with these three goals in mind, I'm going to show you what you're going to be needing for this little mini journal. I am going to use the 6x6 Tim Holtz papers. Now these were found, because I don't know if you can get these pads anymore, but they're in the Tim Holtz paper pad of the 12x12s. In the back were the 6x6 papers, and the big pages were reduced down so they fit nicely in a smaller area, and I cut those all up. So technically they are still 6x6, and I'm still going to use some things from my pads, but I've got to start using this paper up, right? And I thought this project is just perfect. So I've cut those out, and I'm going to be using those. And when you choose your paper, you want to make sure you have a nice cardstock paper. You don't want it flimsy. Tim Holtz had a nice cardstock, but many of the other pads did too. Usually, if you find something double-sided, it usually does have a pretty good heft to it. Even some of the single-sideds do, but so I would make sure I'd look out for something that was heavy. If you don't have any 6x6 pads, you of course can use 12x12 sheets of scrapbook paper and cut them up to 6x6. And then you will need, now the kind of spine we're going to be putting in is a no-sew spine, and it's a tab spine. And I know this has been around for a while, but I just think it's worth visiting again because it's just such an easy, fun little spine, and it also is just perfect for beginners. So you'll need some cloth. Now I have torn strips, like our 1-inch hand torn strips of cloth there, and you just about 2 inches long, I would say. You can just eye it up, but I think 2 inches is a good number, and just cut your first one and just keep cutting more, and just cut a whole bunch of these. You'll need quite a few. I don't know the number, but you'll need quite a few of these. You could also use lace if you wanted to. And just cut your lace in the different 2-inch lengths that you want. So you could use those two things. And of course you're going to need a glue with that. This is glitter glue. It works well, but I think a white glue would be really handy for you. You could use Fabri-Tac, but be aware that there might be a little bit of it seeping through the cloth. So if you used it sparingly, it probably would work good too. I am going to use, just because it's so much easier, I'm going to be using this linen tape from Tim Holtz. It's not too expensive, especially if you get it on sale. Sometimes Joann's has 40% off their Tim Holtz stuff, but it has the sticky backing on the back. So every 2 inches I would just cut these up, and I'm going to be using these. They can also be cut in half if you have a smaller journal. But this is what I'm using. But again, you can just use your own cloth and lace and glue, and you're all set for that. And the first thing that I'm going to do to set up my pages, you will need an even number of pages, including the covers. So I have 12 here, but you could definitely have 6 or 8. But including the covers, you'll want 12 pieces, or an even number of pieces. So I've already got those done here. I am going to double my paper up. Now you can, especially if you're making this for yourself, you can just use the single layer. As long as it's a nice heavy weight, you can use the single layer and not worry about this step. but I'm going to put a backing on each page just to make it a little heftier and to hold the decorations that I'm going to be putting onto it. So I have gotten this other 6x6 pad that only has print on one side, and it's a perfect opportunity for me to use it because I can cover up that white space. I've chosen ones that were very light in design and simple, so that you could write on them. So that's kind of my feeling, or my MO, is to have one that's heavily decorated, one page, and then the other page lightly decorated where you could do some writing. But you don't have to set it up that way. It's just what I thought about doing. There's other ways to make a place writable, so you don't have to do it that way. Anyway, so I went ahead and I've cut this 6 by 4.5 inches wide. Now you could, go ahead and use the whole 6 inches. I don't really like square journals. I don't know why. I like the look of something that looks like a book. I guess I'm too much of a book lover. But I'm going to be cutting these down to like this, 4.5 by 6. Having said that, the cover, the front and back covers, and one other page on the inside, I'm not cutting off at all. I'm going to go ahead and leave those at 6 inches, and you'll see why I do that. It's just kind of a different way I'm going to set that page up. It still will come out at 6 and 4.5, but I'm just doing something different there. Now I have to decide, and it depends, it depends on your paper here. If you have paper with graphics like this, or any kind of a design, you'll have to decide where you want your 4.5 inches to be. Do I want to go from here over and choose this, or do I want to come here and choose that? So you just have to determine which side you're going to cut off. As to, like on here, I definitely will want to go to 4.5 this way, so I have the pretty birds here. But on other ones, it may not be that apparent. It probably doesn't, like this doesn't matter. But it just depends on what you're after there. So you'll have to go through and decide that and cut them down, except for, of course, these, except for the cover and the one in between, or you can maybe have 2 or 3 in between. Once you see how I'm going to do these pages, you'll be able to decide that. So I'm going to go ahead and then you'll want to, if you want to distress, of course, you're going to want to ink all the way around these pages. I will go ahead and prepare my pages, and I will assemble, not the spine part, but I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the ideas I have for the pages, just to give you some hints and inspiration to get started on yours. And so now I'm going to do, the reason why I left these at 6 inches and didn't cut them back to the size of the booklet is because I am going to do something with this and create like a flap. So this is going to be the back of my journal. And the only thing you need to think about when you do this is, if this is going to be the front of the journal, you'll want this section, this underlay here, to be on the right side and flip over like that. Unless, of course, you want the flip to be on your cover, you could do it that way as well, but I'm wanting my flips to be on the inside. So I have to determine, if this is going to be the front, then I need to put it to this side. If it's the back, I need to put it to that side. I'm going to, first of all, measure at 4.5 inches and, put a tick mark and see where that is, and that is right here. So I am going to now score that, and you don't really need a scoreboard. You can just take a ruler. You just want something to kind of give you a bit of a guideline, or a little bit of a crease to kind of, help with that fold. Yep, just like that. All right. Now the back pieces were all cut 4.5 by 6, but I cut this one just a pinch more narrow. And if I was going to have it inside here, then I would cut it a little bit narrow so that you have room here to get out your ephemera. But in the meantime, I decided the last minute I wanted to have the top to go in and out. So, you know, that's just what I did there. And now I'm going to glue this in because I'm doing a pocket there. All right. And we'll just stick that down right at the edge there, like so. And so since this is not going to be a pocket on that side, I am going to make sort of a tuck spot, I guess, with this one. And you'll probably want to glue this even if you're sewing, because you don't want to sew into this pocket over here. So you want to glue it like so. And so now you have, and I see right now that because this piece was just a little shorter, I need to get in there and make sure that doesn't dry to the back of that pocket there, because it was just, this piece was just a little shorter than it should have been. So now I have like a tuck spot here in the back that I can put in some ephemera. So that's one way that you can use this and use the extra, the whole sheet, the 6x6 sheet. I'm putting this on the front and back because I feel like this gives it a nice firm edge for the cover to be handled. So that's one reason I'm putting them there, and I've put a few, you know, on the inside as well. I'll show you one here that I did, and here's one, and this is a side pocket entrance, right? And I put a thumb notch in there, but I also put in magnets. I put this magnet here on the top spot because I didn't think of the magnet until I had everything assembled, but that's fine. I think it looks, you know, just fine. Don't have to use the magnets, but I think it kind of helps it stay down a little bit. If you want to, you can also just use a piece of ephemera. I would back it onto some cardstock. I would glue it just like a third of a way down, and then you would just tuck this flap inside there, and then that could hold it down as well. So that's just an idea if you want to put in a side pocket. So that is what I've done here with these two. Another idea that you can do, easy, simple idea, is put in a hole, and I put one in with a die cut, but you can use a hole punch. It doesn't have to be in the center. It can just be as far as your hole punch can reach. You could even cut a piece. You could take a craft knife and, you know, trace a square on there and cut it out. There's just different ways of doing an opening. But once I've done that, then I have this lovely lady I'm going to put inside, and I will put some glue here, not at the very tippy edge, but just a little bit past that edge like that. And then I'm going to glue this piece. So the key is to glue the edges so that when you put ephemera inside, it's flush. It may not be, won't catch as badly. And then we'll just stick this on here how we like it. All right. And so that is really something else you can do. And then you can, of course, you know, decide if you want to have this as a pocket. You may not even want, I'm not going to put every single one of these pages with a pocket because it might just be a little too bulky that way. But there's that idea, and you can put anything in there. You can put a quote in there. That would be really cute. And of course, if you wanted to, you could make it a pocket and make a tag that went in and out that you know, highlighted something on that tag inside the window. So that's an idea. Another one that I'm going to use is doing a flip out. So I want this to flip out like so. And I have cut a piece that is about a fourth of an inch, half inch maybe, more than I want, wider than I want my flip out to be. So I think I want it to come right about here at this point. So I will just mark this so I know when I glue it how far in to glue it there. All right, I'm going to glue this down like so. And I want this side to show, so I will put it inside. Well, let's put it inside like this here. Right like that. Okay. There we are. I think that's about right. And just put that score down there a little bit so that it will bend over nicely. Of course, if you're dealing with a lightweight paper, you probably don't need to do the scoring, but if you are using anything of some weight, you will need that. And then you can just put your pocket on however it is that you want your pocket to be. So that is another idea for a flip out. If you've got envelopes that are small enough to put in there, that will work really well too. And so those are my ideas so far. I'm sure I'm going to come up with a few more as I go along. And so the next time we're together, we will be putting it together. We'll be putting this tab spine together and doing some decorating on some of the pages, and share with you a little bit more as I go along. Now you can either decorate the pages before or after. I think for the most part I'm decorating them after, because we will be gluing those tabs in, and how much room they take up over here, maybe it would be hard to really know ahead of time, and plus you can then decorate over them if you didn't want them to show. So we will see you again later. Thanks so much for stopping in. Have a great day. Bye.